Know your Lord. We learn about his names and his attributes. Know your Lord. What he approves and disapproves. Know your Lord. Believe in all things that he has brought forth. Know his oneness, Lord.
Know Your Lord, part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, right here on Sunnahfollowers. Being taught by Ustada Layla Nashiba as she lays down the foundations to get you together. Learn about your Lord. Know your Lord. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers. Assalamu alaikum. Get to know your Lord. First part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. This dynamic literary work of art's main goal is to revive an understanding the names and attributes of Allah. And understanding the name and attributes of Allah will elevate our faith, strengthen us, and keep us steadfast. This wonderful book is now available in an audiobook format and can be found free of charge on YouTube, channel Kareem Abu Zaid. Get to know your Lord. You have nothing to lose.
Alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I'd like to welcome everybody to our Aqidah class. And this is the most important class that we are teaching here. Because again, if your belief system is not correct, then nothing else matters. Whatever charity you did, whatever good deeds you did in this world are null and void. And that's why Mother Teresa. Let's talk about that for a second. I know I have a lot of new shahadas here. And I have a lot of people here from the Catholic who come from Catholic backgrounds. And I always get this question about this Mother Teresa. I don't care how nice she was. I don't care how much charity she gave. It don't matter how many homeless orphans she patted on the head. If she did not die upon La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, this world was her paradise, and she'll be in hell. I mean, Allah is clear, guys, and I know this is something that's kind of tough to hear, but the truth is always a painful pill to swallow. The truth is never easy for any of us to grasp. You know, there's no way you can, make it easier to go down. But for the converse, a lot of you struggle with that. Understanding, oh, my grandmother, she was such a good woman. She did a lot. She gave in charity. She never smoked. She never drank. She stayed devoted to her husband. You mean to tell me? And she lived to be 102 years old, but she's going to be in hell? If she did not die upon La ilaha illallah, that's what Allah said. I don't make the laws. I don't make the rules. I'm just the person that conveys them. That's it. All right. So Allah is clear. And we're going to go over that in this book. That's why I am so glad that we are back to book 1 of this Correct Belief series by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. And I got the wrong book. I'm sorry. I got the wrong picture up. Yeah, this is Get to Know Your Lord. Hold on. Let me take this down for a second. Well, I'll keep that up for today. Just remind me after class, y'all, to put the right book up. Okay? Because we're done with this book. We're in Get to Know Your Lord. And this first book of this trilogy, the first book of the trilogy speaks about Allah. Allah. What does it mean to believe in him? All of us claim to believe in him. Even the Christians, even the Jews, the Catholics and all that. They claim to believe in Allah, but they really don't. So we're going to explore throughout the next year, because it takes a year to teach these books. throughout the next year, when we get through with this class, inshallah, for my new shahadas, there will be no question in your heart, no doubt in your heart that Allah does indeed speak the truth when he says that there anyone who dies upon a way other than Islam, it will never be accepted from him. This world was their paradise. The fact that your mother, your grandmother was such a good woman, Allah allowed her to live to be 102 years old. That's how Allah rewards the kafirs. Seriously, the good non-believers, Allah rewards them with this world. They live a long life. They have a nice house. They have a nice car. They have nice things. And they die peacefully, but they end up paying the ultimate price. Okay? That's how just and fair Allah is. Our Lord, he's so just. Even though the people deny him, even though the people mock him, even though the people associate with him, he is still so just and merciful that he'll let them live and have what they want in this world. He just ain't giving them nothing in the hereafter. So, this is a tough pill to swallow, but a lot of my new shahadas ask that. And we're after the end of this course, it'll become clearer to you. And so today, everybody should have their book. For those of you who have not yet purchased the book, Know Your Lord, you can buy it on Amazon. It's on sale for just $14, $14.90 on Amazon. And if you order it today, you'll get it in 3 days. Amazon is real quick. Okay, so please, and it is in stock because I checked. And if someone tries to purchase the book and it's not in stock, let me know. Then I can get in touch with the sheikh and let him know. But it's in stock now. So make sure you guys buy it. And today what I'm going to do, and I'm going to take y'all through this journey of establishing the correct belief system. We're going to take it slow. So today we're going to cover the preface and the introduction of the book. Oh yeah, we're going page by page. So everybody get your books out. I hope the children are listening too, because again, all my classes are family oriented. Hello. Assalamu alaikum to the kids. Put me on a big screen TV so the children can look at on the big screen TV at the PowerPoint. And also take screenshots for the parents and everybody else. Use your cell phone, your laptop, or your computer to take screenshots of the PowerPoint so you can study, because there will be quizzes every day. After the night, there will be quizzes on what I'm teaching. So let's get started. Let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. Oh, yeah, this is what I'm going to make as a picture. Yeah, remind me to put the new book picture up in the background. All right. I'll use this as a picture. This is what the picture will look like and show. I have to take some of that stuff off, though. I'll figure it out. Okay. But this is the book. The book is blue. This is how the book looks. Know Your Lord. It's blue. That's a picture of Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. Why do I use Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid on his books? Because you need to know. You need to know who you're getting your knowledge of Islam from. You should know how Kareem Abu Zaid looked. That's him. He wrote the book. You should know who your teacher is. Me. How I look. That's me. Yours truly. Hello. Holding it down. That's the way the prophets' wives wore their hijab, their kimar. It would be hooded like that. They would bring it down to the face, to the forehead to cover their eyes so you couldn't see who they were. That's my winter look, by the way, letting you know that winter time is around the corner. I wear my hoods in the winter. Winter's around the corner. That's my winter look. But there's yours truly. Okay. The class is held every day at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And I'm streaming this class live on all social media platforms. It's on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, Twitch, Rumble, Odyssey, and we are on Telegram. Assalamu alaikum to the sisters on Telegram. Got a couple of them in here. Is that Ifti? I think Ifti's in here. Okay, So we're streaming because I want all the Muslims, as many Muslims as I can, to understand what the correct belief system should be for the Muslim. And today we're going to be covering the preface and the introduction of this book. And let's look and see what Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd has to say. That's the book. Everybody see it? Take a screenshot. That's the book. Get it on Amazon. I think I can take this down now, right? Everybody should know. Let me take that down now. All right. And by the way, guys, please support us. We are desperately in need of donations. I got a couple of donations yesterday. Man, we are out the hole now, but still we got bills to pay. We're going to be back in that hole. Please support this website. We are a nonprofit. You can write it off at the end of the year. Okay, let's look and see what Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd says. He says, the title of this book, Get to Know Your Lord. It cannot be understood without first defining or explaining the scope of the terms that are used. This is his message to everyone who reads this book. He says the guided way that a person may acquire knowledge about Allah is through his revelations. What does that mean? You're not going to know anything about Allah except what he tells us of himself. As Sheikh Kareem says, no one can see Allah in this world. He's part of the unseen. So knowledge of him, the only way that you can attain it is through his revelations, not your perception. And this is important. This is important because there are a lot of Muslims out there and non-Muslims too, who view Allah from their, think of Allah from their perceptions. No, we can't go around trying to perceive him. Knowledge of him is through his revelation, not our perceptions. Does everybody understand that? Because this is where we get sticky. This is where we get these deviant groups. Listen to what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He said, be informed that none of you can see Allah until you die. We have people walking around. I was looking on TikTok the other day. There's a TikTok video where some man said he saw God. Oh, yeah. Some minister. He said that God came to him, took him by the hand, and they walked together. And God told him this, and God told him that. If God were a man, you know, y'all hear the songs and stuff. Well, no one can see Allah, and no one will ever see Allah until after the day of judgment. And the only people that will see him are the people of paradise. We're going to talk about that in another class. But I want y'all to know, Mother Teresa and whoever else that dies upon a way other than Islam, they will never see the face of Allah because his face is too magnificent. It's too beautiful to behold. So he only shows it to the believers. And that's another issue that we're going to talk about because a lot of Muslims don't understand that. Also, when the Prophet, he made this statement to the companions when he was telling them about the Antichrist. And remember, I taught you guys the signs of the last hour. One of the major signs is when the Antichrist comes, he's not going to come pretending to be a prophet. He's going to come and declare that he's Allah himself. And so the prophet said, but don't worry. If you live to see that day, know that Allah, no one will ever see Allah until after the day of judgment. Okay, so anyone that claims that they have seen Allah is a liar. So we have to understand this thing right here. Allah is part of the unseen world. None of us will ever be able to see him in this world. He doesn't come to us in dreams either. We were talking about that yesterday. You would have some people claim that they had a dream and God came to me. I'm sorry, God ain't coming to you in the form of no dreams. Or I had a dream that some man, a handsome man with long blonde hair and blue eyes, sat next to me and said, I'm God. Excuse me, Allah doesn't do that. And by the way, Jesus didn't have long blonde hair either. Okay? Ain't nobody coming to you like that. So we have to understand Allah is part of the unseen world, so we don't see him. We can't see him. We can't touch him. So how do we know about him? We have to look to his books. His books of revelation. That's how we learn about Allah, from what he has told us of himself. You got people that claim to be God. We were talking about that in the Zoom room a few minutes ago. I just found out there's another deviant group. Do y'all know that a lot of these rap singers, these rap hip hop singers that become Muslim, did y'all know that most of them are not Muslim? They become 5%ers. And I just learned about these people. These people say that they believe in Allah, but they think that they are Allah. They think they're God. They even greet each other and call each other God. How can you think that anything on this planet, anyone on this planet is Allah? Like Allah himself says in the interpretation, the meaning, were they created by nothing? Or were they the creators of themselves? Or did they create the heavens and the earth? Rather, they don't know. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. This is a powerful statement here. And to answer these questions, it's clear to everyone. The answer to these questions are clear to those of us who have intelligence. No, I didn't create myself. Okay? When you look at the creation of Allah, two conclusions lie before you. Number one, there must be a creator. Someone had to create me. I didn't create myself. I didn't just appear. There must be a creator. And the second conclusion is that the attributes and qualities of the creator cannot be equaled. In other words, nothing is like him. If God were a man, are you crazy? How can I create myself? And how can I be equal to anyone that created me? Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning. Then is he who creates like the one who does not? So will you not be reminded. So Allah has to remind us of this. Because as human beings, we're arrogant. Just like these hip-hop artists, they were arrogant. And so they convert to 5%ers, thinking that they're God. That's arrogance. We have to be reminded of the truth. Because if we're not, we'll become pompous, arrogant, and think ourselves to be the creator himself. And that's what happens too. We're going to talk about that in this class. The destruction that money can bring upon you. Fame, money, riches. You become more, and if you don't believe in Allah, you become more and more and more pompous and arrogant to the point that you will convert to a way of life that tells you that you are God himself. Astaghfirullah. And also Allah tells us in the interpretation, the meaning, and they encompass not a thing of his knowledge except for what he wills. What is Allah saying? Allah is basically telling us that we don't know nothing about him, nor do we know nothing about anything unless he gives us that knowledge. We cannot gain any knowledge about Allah or the reward that comes from that knowledge unless he himself tells us of himself. And how does Allah tell us of himself? Through the Quran. That's the revelation. Through the Quran. And I want y'all to understand, when you come upon these deviants that's telling y'all that the Quran is a creation of Allah, that's not true. The Quran are the words of Allah. It's the words of Allah. Allah is talking to you. Allah is talking to me. Allah is trying to tell you something. It's his words. And we only know what he tells us of him. Listen to what the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said. He said, there is nothing that'll bring you close to paradise, nor is there anything that will take you away from the hellfire that has not been explained to you. Allah, he's the creator of you, of me, of everything. He's the creator of good. He's the creator of evil. He's the creator of sickness. Yeah, he created the COVID, not man. Okay? Man was the puppet he used. Allah gave that knowledge to the man. Okay? Just like the treatment for COVID. Allah created the treatment. And he's the one that gave that knowledge to man. Okay? Allah is the creator of everything, good and evil. But out of his mercy, he told us what our purpose is in life. He said, I created you to worship me. I put you here on this earth, surrounded you by good things and bad things, to see if you truly believe in me, if you will choose me over your desires, me over you, those things. And then out of his mercy, he sent prophets to us, prophets and messengers, to remind us of Allah's words. And then when he sent the final prophet, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Prophet Muhammad completed the mission of every prophet that came before him. All the other books were destroyed. The only book left on this planet is the revelation of the Quran. And it's for all time. It doesn't get old. And out of Allah's mercy, he explained to us how to earn his love. He also told us what things to stay away from that will bring about his anger and his punishment. And then he tells us, if you deviate away from what I say, expect that there will be consequences. There will be war. There will be calamities befalling you. So Allah told us what we need to know. Whatever's going to bring us to paradise, it's been conveyed to us. What's going to take us to hell and cause hardship has been conveyed to us too. So the means with which to get to know about our Lord is by learning about him. And how do we learn about him? Through his revelation, the Quran. And how do we learn about him through that Quran? Through the beautiful names and attributes that he tells us of himself. And this subject, as Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd says here, has been a source of controversy for some of the Muslims throughout history. Some generation of Muslims went astray from the methodology of the Prophet when it comes to Allah's names and attributes. Okay? And that's the whole purpose why Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd put this beautiful trilogy together. And he started it off with this book, Know Your Lord. Because today in 2024, we still have Muslims who are twisted in their belief in Allah. They don't understand Allah's names. They don't know about his attributes. They question these things. And it destroys their dawah. It destroys a lot of other people's way of thinking. I want you guys to pay attention to what Imam Malik ibn Anas said. He said the last part of this nation will not be rectified except by what corrected its first part. This statement is so profound. Rectification of the correct understanding of the names and attributes of Allah. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about how the later generation of Muslims, our generation, we will deviate away from traditional Islam as we have done. We will divide into sets and groups as we have done. Why? Because we don't understand the meaning of Allah's names. We don't know the names. We go around making songs. We go around writing poems about the names. We even have our children memorize how to say them. Not understanding that just because you memorize the names per se, you have to break down the meaning and apply it to yourself. We don't know how to do that. I have a class teaching that, and you guys see how hard it is. People struggle with it. So until we get back to the basics and learn about Allah but through his names, we will be in the state that we're in today. And I really like how Sheikh Kareem put this preface together. And he goes on to tell us the second significant term in the title of this work that we need to ponder is Lord. It's all about know your Lord. He lets us know that when he speaks about Lord, this is referring to Allah. But unfortunately, the Muslims today, you very seldom hear them use the word Lord. And that's true. I very seldom hear any of these famous celebrity diyas use the word Lord. I hear them use Allah all the time. Okay? And this is a disservice. And this is a failure in dawah. Okay? We need to use the word Lord for many reasons. Number one, it's one of the beautiful names of Allah. I listened to one famous celebrity diyah. I really don't like this person at all either. And he made the comment, they asked a new convert asked him the question. The new convert asked, is there anything wrong with me referring to Allah as my Lord? You know what he told her? He said, this is imitating the Kafirs. This famous so-called sheikh had the nerve to tell this new convert that she should say Allah and not Lord. Because if she uses the word Lord, she's imitating the Christians, because the Christians call upon their Lord. I was like, where did he get that? Where's his dalil? What can you give me the evidence? Back it up. He gave no evidence. Okay. Well, listen to what Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd said. He said the English word Lord does not fully convey the meaning of the Arabic word for it. Lord in English has a primary meaning of ruler or master. And you guys know I got a degree in English. That's true. A lot of times when we use the word Lord in English, you're talking about somebody who's over you, your master, or a person of a higher status than you. But in Arabic, like I tell you guys, Arabic words mean more than that. In Arabic, it means creator, it means provider, it means the one, the only absolute ruler, the only master of all, that only one capable of being master. Okay? But the people in the West don't speak Arabic. They know Lord. Lord means Allah, and it can also be used to refer to a person of a higher status than you. But when you hear the Christians and when you hear the Jews talking about the Lord, they're not talking about a master over them. They're talking about Allah. So there's nothing wrong with us using the word Lord when we give dawah, because we're giving dawah to the Christians and the and non-Arabic speaking people, and they understand the concept of that word. They understand that it is referring to something greater than a man. So knowing Allah means we have to understand his divine essence in order to call the people to his essence. You have to use the language that they understand. And then you tell them, like Sheikh Kareem says here, you know, our Lord is a good Lord. But I want you to know that when in Arabic, the term Lord means a little bit more than what it does in English. And you can break down, like Dr. Asim does, give you more details as to the meaning of that word. But you can't tell anyone that because we refer to Allah as Lord, that we're imitating Kafir. Where does that come from? Okay. So we have to understand as Muslims that Islam, look at it like this. Islam is an exceptional product that needs a skilled and qualified salesperson that knows what he has and knows how to convey it wisely, to sell it or to teach it. I like this parable that Imam Kareem Abu Zayd put together, because the West, as he said, the western part of the hemisphere is a fertile land for the work of inviting non-Muslims to Islam. Many Western people concern themselves with the material things in life. However, they still suffer with emptiness, as you all know. They end up realizing that money doesn't buy them anything. Fame doesn't bring them anything. So the people in the West are still searching for something else. So this is where the Muslim daya steps in. This is a great opportunity for those of us who know about Allah, who know about Islam, to call others to it. However, it comes with problems. These are the problems that we see. Turn on YouTube. There are two main obstacles that stand in the way of the people in the West learning Islam correctly. Number one, you have to have knowledge of Allah. How can you call the people to Allah if you don't know about him? And a lot of the daya today do not understand the meaning of Allah's names. Many Muslims in the West don't realize that they live in a Judeo-Christian society. Everybody here in America, if you were to ask the average American, do they believe in God? Most people will say yes. America is a Judeo-Christian society. It's not a pagan society. It's just that their perception of Allah is distorted. So we have to be able to reach out to the non-Muslims. And the way to reach out is to begin from the foundation, teaching them about Allah, about him through his names. Instead of these Muslims doing what you guys see them doing, setting up dawah booths, they have a Bible on the right, the Quran on the left, and they sitting there arguing about Jesus Christ superstar and all that stuff. That ain't how we give dawah. That's not what they should be doing. They should first, if you want to give dawah and call the people to Islam, you start with their names, the names of Allah, with Allah's names. Remember, guys, Mu'ad, he was the first ambassador of Islam, the first messenger that the Prophet sent to call the people to Islam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, he said, I'm sending you to Yemen. He said, you are going to a country where the people believe in Allah. Call them to bear witness that no one has a right to be worshipped but him. And then tell them that I am his messenger. If they accept that, then teach them that Allah has enjoined upon them to pray 5 times a day. If they accept that, then teach them that Allah has enjoined upon them to give in charity. If they accept that, then beware of taking the best of their money. He said, and save yourself from their supplications, because there is no screen between the supplication of a person who's being oppressed and Allah. Here you can see in this hadith, the prophet didn't tell his first messenger to go out and debate with them about the Bible. No. He said, teach them the names of Allah. Teach them that only Allah is worthy of worship, that Allah has no partners, that Allah has no son. That's what these brothers should be doing. Instead of sitting up, holding debates with Christians. And by the way, the people that they're debating with ain't interested in Islam anyway. Okay? Instead of all this arguing and debating with kafirs, if you really want to give dawah, you reach out to the people and call them to the oneness of Allah. And then after they accept that Allah is one, after they accept that Allah is one and has no partner, then you teach them Allah's names. Because learning Allah's names and his attributes, that's how we learn of him. And then the second obstacle we have today is the conduct. Muslims today are disgraceful in general. These brothers doing dawah, look at them. They're arguing, they're fighting, they're cursing, they're making fun of people, making fun of Jesus, comparing Jesus to some idiot like Andrew Tate. Can y'all believe that? Astaghfirullah. Muslims must invite while conducting themselves with good character in all aspects of our lives. Remember, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, he said, I was sent to teach you good character. And by teaching you good character, in turn, I am teaching you Islam. How can you represent Allah's religion if you are behaving like a heathen yourself? First of all, you're ignorant. You have no knowledge of this religion. Secondly, you can't control your temper. Thirdly, it's all about getting views on YouTube. And by the way, a lot of these brothers who call themselves Daya, who are into this debate, they like to debate because it brings views. People, remember, as human beings, we're attracted to those things that are bad for us. We like to see people fight. We like to hear people argue. So they make these debates because that's what they want. They want the views, the subscribers, so they can in turn make the money and not go out and get a job. But what they're doing is turning the people away from Islam, because that's not how we were commanded to do. Listen to what Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, said. He said, seek knowledge, and then after seeking knowledge, teach the people. Learn the knowledge with dignity. Teach the knowledge with dignity, tranquility, and humility. So are we doing that today? We all know the story of Umar. May Allah be pleased with him. We all know that Umar didn't sugarcoat this deen. If Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, were living today, and he happened to see how these young Daya are arguing and debating a religion with kafirs and each other, what would he do? He'd probably order all of them be executed as apostates. The Muslims are so twisted in their conduct that you will hear a lot of Muslims say, I'd rather deal with a Christian than deal with a Muslim. I'm one of those people. I've been on the internet since 1986. I've never been hacked by Christians. I'm dealing with a hacker right now as we speak. Y'all want to know what his name is? His name is Muhammad. He's a Muslim. Y'all want to know where he's from? Somalia. He's a Somalian Muslim. You know, I've always had to deal with Muslims. They're the most uncouth people. The Christians go on about their business. It's the Muslims who have bad character and no respect for anyone. So Umar's statement illustrates two things. Number one, you want to know if a person is a true believer, look at his character. Look at his actions. As the prophet said, remember when the companions, when the Quraysh converted to Islam, and a little jealousy emerged between the Ansar and the Quraysh. One of the companions asked the prophet, "O prophet of Allah, who's the best of us?" The prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Those of you who were best in character before Islam will become the best Muslims after Islam." Subhanallah, good character is a sign of your belief system. You claim to be a Muslim, you claim to be so close to Allah and into the deen, well, your actions, your behavior should show that. And also we learn from Umar's statement that bad character defames your belief. The simple fact that this brother claims to believe in Allah, but he wants to compare Jesus, alayhi salam, to a losing, human trafficking, trash man of today, that shows that this brother's Aqidah is kind of messed up. Something's wrong with him. He say he believe in Allah. Do you really? With that type of character, that type of behavior, and you're filming it? That shows that you have no fear to film your behavior like that. That's a person that has no belief. To me, you ain't got no fear of Allah. You have no shame. What kind of stuff is that? Is that the Islam that our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with? Is that the Islam that our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam called to? Is that the Islam that those original companions sacrificed their lives for? Then we have the story of Abu Dhar. Abu Dhar. We talked about it in my class before. When Abu Dhar, may Allah be pleased with him, converted to Islam, what did he do? He sent his brother. He sent his brother to go listen to the prophet, to see what type of man he was, to see what he had to say. His brother went and said, "Wow, subhanallah, this man has good character. He's not using poetry like other people who claim to be prophets use. He's eloquent in his speech. He's kind. He's respectable." When Abu Dhar heard that, that's when he said, "Well, this is it. We're going to convert." Abu Dhar converted to Islam after that. So what was it that brought him into the folds? It wasn't arguing. It wasn't debating. It wasn't the prophet putting down their belief. It was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's good conduct, his behavior. So these are two obstacles that we are faced with today with the Daya. You know, either they don't have the correct knowledge and understanding of the religion, and you're going to see that. And when we go through this book, guys, you're going to see that there are a lot of Muslims that don't believe in the decree of Allah. There are a lot of Muslims that don't believe that Allah is the creator of everything, including good and evil. If you're harboring thoughts like that, then your belief system is not correct.